TipTut.
Hello everybody and welcome back to TipTut. Today we're taking a look at the results for the Dribbble competition that we held a little over a week ago. We had some great entries that came in, thank you very much for those. I'm going to run through them one by one, analyse what I do and don't like about them, and then announce the winners. This is the first time that I'm really going to look at them in detail. I've glanced through them, but I wanted you guys to get my honest and genuine reactions so that those who perhaps don't win can learn from this, take some of my advice away, as advice, you know, not as the gospel truth, and hopefully learn a little bit. So let's dive right in then. The first one we're going to do here is Ahmad Faris, and apologies in advance if I pronounce any of these names wrong. So let's just jump right in then. Okay, not too bad of a start. I'm not sure it's supposed to disappear at the end like that, but we'll just call that a trimming error on the end. I like the fact that it swings into position. He's clearly watched my tutorial series and sort of taken that from there, but it does sort of snap a little bit rather than settle into place, which could be eased a little bit more. I like the line trims. Those work really well as it comes in, so the map sort of grows from itself. And I like the fact that the paper part of the map actually unfolds a little bit. That works quite well. I like the fact the pin pops up and settles back into place. If we did a little bit of easing in the similar sense to that pin as they did on the map here when it settles in, that would make this a little bit better. Obviously trimming off that endpoint as well. Overall though, good effort. I like it. Let's take a look at the next entry, which is Boris Trifunovic. Boris Trifevnik. Boris. I'm just going to stick with Boris. I like it. It's a unique attempt. I like the fact that these little rectangles come in separately, but I don't like the fact that it treats it as if it's not one solid object. In my icon motion graphics series, I talk about how you should animate these sort of icons as if they physically exist, and you should treat the shapes on the page as if they physically exist, whereas this one treats them as separate entities, which is fine if that's what you want to do. But for this sort of thing, it looks a little bit odd because you can't quite see what it is until it's fully built. I like nice and simple, fade in and then shift position of the folded map behind it. Again, the pin growing is quite nice, but I'm probably not a fan of the way it sort of warps out of existence. It looks a little bit too much of a change in character from the rest of the animation. But overall, a good attempt. Okay, let's have a look at Hein Schultz's entry next. Oh wow, I like this one. I like this one a lot. They've added their own elements to it. I think that works really well. I like the hands that come out, the whole map, the spin, the little character looking at it. He's taken the color palette. Sorry, I'm assuming he or she has taken the color palette and applied it to their own character that they put in the animation. That's really nice. The animation of the character itself is really smooth as well. The nose looks like it's attached to the body because it moves in relation speed-wise to the eyes and the rest of the head. So does the hair. Really like this one, really good attempt. Again, he's treating the map as if it's a real object, which works really well. And I like the little disappearing dots at the end there. Good effort there, Hein Schultz. Okay, next up, I'm assuming this is a character handle. We have JGJHU. Jew? I'm not sure. Who knows? Let's take a look though. Quite a nice slow little animation folding in, again treating the elements as if they were separate, but that's okay. I like the line trims. I like the fact that it's very smooth, sort of considering animation. It doesn't pop in, it sort of fades in almost. That's quite nice. I like the growing pin. Again, that seems to be a common theme that everyone's sort of understood, and I like the fact that he's gone for a separate line trim for that pin as well. Main thing to take away from this one is perhaps these folding animations at the back don't work so well. It might have looked nicer if it grew from one side as if it was a piece of paper unfolding. Other than that, good effort. I like it. Let's take a look at the next one. This one is Jojan Rodriguez. Ah, cool. I like this one. Really nice. A lot more unique. I like the little spin as the pin comes in first of all. That's really smooth animation there. It grows, it pops up, and the map sort of grows from it. So whilst this one isn't treated as though it were a physical piece of paper, it is treated as one object, which is nice. I like the fact that it grows, spins into itself, and then folds out. The little accent lines of animation, probably a bit thick, those accent lines. I'd maybe drop them down to a thinner stroke, but I can see why you kept the same size because then it's uniform across the whole piece. I do quite like this one very much. Yeah, really good work. I really love the unfolding nature and how the paper map behind it unfolds from the center. That's quite nice. I like that. Let's take a look at Laya Lynn next time. I remember Laya Lynn. She frequents Facebook quite often. So let's take a look. I like the accent lines. Very nice. Taken away from the motion graphics tutorial series. Good. I like the fact that the paper comes in flat and then it folds itself. Really good in theory. The practice could use a little work, but I like the fact that it folds and then switches. You can see a little bit of a jump as it does that. But overall, the concept is very strong. I like the fact that you've treated the pin as a solid object and you've spun it around. Where possible, though, I'd keep that pin thickness the same size as the rest of the lines. Because it remains on the screen and it's solid, you should probably keep it the same thickness. The accent lines could be a little thinner if you wanted to make something thinner. Good theory behind this one. I like it. Up next then, we've got Mauricio Guerra. Oh yeah, I like the pin animation on that, the jump and spin. I like the jump and the spin. That's a really nice action. Bam, it lands and solid. And I like the fact that as it lands, it pushes the folds into the map. Works really well. You can see a little bit of overlap though on the end of these lines where it's folded over. And the speed of how these lines separate from the paper is a little bit quick. Again, good concept, good theory. I really like the spin, but everything seems to jump as it hits. Boom, there you go. It sort of offsets itself a little bit. Could use a bit of polishing, but otherwise I really like this one. Good job, Mauricio. Up next then is Michael Toczek. Cool, I like the little pop as that pin comes in. Nice work there. I like the fact that it wiggles a little bit as well. The line trimmings coming on are nice, a bit more of a unique thing than rather just going around the edge. But I'm not sure it works for this particular animation, purely because it makes them feel a bit separate to the paper behind it, where it's supposed to be the same concept, the same item. Other than that, again, the paper unfolding seems to be a common theme, but I like it. I think it works well. But yes, good effort, Michael Toczek. Up next, then, we have Mikoriki Razvan. Razvan? This one's very unique. I like the fact that it folds in, drops down as if it was like some kind of ID card you see the police do, or like photos in an old movie of their kids or something out of a wallet. That's cool. I like that. Flops down. A bit more unique. The settling into place looks like you had some trouble with the motion path there. I like the concept, but again, needs a bit of polishing there in the execution. I do like the pin as it wobbles itself on there. That works really well. Again, the easing could use a little bit of smoothing out there because the motion feels a little bit off. But other than that, I like that little wobble. No one's done that so far. Again, the line trims of the map coming on seems to be fairly common. It seems to struggle a little bit at the beginning there. Not necessarily an issue, just looks a bit odd. It's a bit distracting. Otherwise, good effort though, Mikorichi. Okay, up next we have Ramin Winroth. This one's really unique. I like it. I really like the dotted line as the pin slides into place. And I love the fact that it snaps and then wobbles as if it's boing, 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 boing and got caught on something. It seems like a bit of a missed opportunity not to have the map grow from that point, but I like the fact that it slides up out of the bottom of the frame. The only one thing I will say is if this was some kind of icon animation and it was placed, say, on a website as an intro animation or something like that, you're not going to be sure where the edge of the frame is. So having stuff sliding out of the edge of the frame looks great, but may not work in function. I'm not going to mark you down, not that there is marks, for that though, because that wasn't part of the criteria of the competition. It's just something to be aware of for the future. I really like the fact that it pops up, hits itself. The animation in this one is really smooth. Again, I like the fact that you went for the box that folds itself down. Works really well. I like it. But the main thing I love about this is just that little sweep at the beginning as the pin comes in. Really, really good effort. Okay, let's take a look at the next entry. This one is by Thin Nguyen Quang. Very sorry, I'm 100% sure I pronounced that wrong. Took it a step further, added a background color. I like that, really nice. Taking liberties with the source material. I like the dashing lines. Clearly you've watched the video series as well, so thank you for doing that. I like the dashing lines as it comes in. Again, it unfolds, fairly common theme, but it works because it's a piece of paper. Line thickness is a little bit off and a little bit distracting on this pin here, but I like the backing in motion and I like the unfolding of the map. Works really well, nice and simple. Up next is Tony Nico 2. Wow, lots going on here. Very nice. One thing I will say is it takes a little bit of a long time to finish. Just as you think it's done, it's still carrying on. Lots of nice motion in that wiggle. Nice motion with the accent lines. A little bit of a weird dot in the center there where I think you've accidentally left behind a point. And the pin takes way too long to animate on. But I like that you've given it a little bit of character. And I like the fact that the settling pose at the very end, if we just pause this, is different to the actual final icon. You've actually put the pin on the map, which is nice. Overall, I like this one. I think there just might be a little bit too much going on. However, I don't think that's a bad thing. I think for the sake of a competition entry, it works fine. If this were for an actual icon, then it'll be a bit too much going on. I like the effort. I love the effort you've put in. I like the little shadows you've done. You've duplicated and offsetted slightly on any of the line animations to create these sort of little tails here. Works really well. I like it. Otherwise, good entry. Up next is an entry by Wet Blanket. Good name. I like it. It's very simple. Again, coloured background. Only 2 people have done that so far. And it's nice and simple. You know, the line grows from the centre. I like the fact that the pin sort of seems to draw a line on the stage. And then the map just simply folds out from there. Really simple, really nice. One thing I will say is it looks like, I could be wrong. No, it looks like that initial line is a little bit thinner than the rest, which is a bit distracting. Otherwise, good work. The offset is nice, a little bit wonky, so it's thicker on the top than it is the side, but that's okay. Good work. Nice and simple, this one. Kept it clean. Okay then, William Pennington. This is a good entry. I like the little shine effect you've done on it. I'm not sure it works particularly with this style, this kind of flat, single thickness line style. It looks a little bit too glossy. However, I really like this little bouncing pin. I like the spin. I like the little dashed lines as it jumps off. Gives it a lot of character, a lot of emotion to it. This thing feels excited, you know, which it should be because it's a travel icon. Map folding out, really nice and simple. I like the way you've done that. Maybe I'd offset the paper a little bit more so it opens up a little bit later than the lines. It's clear to me that this little pin is the best part of this, and there's nothing to sniff at. It's a really good animation. It's got a lot of character and emotion to it. As it sort of settles, it bounces. You've got good animation principles here. The squash and stretch on this pin is really nice. A really good entry. Well done, William. Okay, final entry is incredible. Look at all that. Wow, look at all that animation. This is by, I'm not even going to attempt to say the name. This guy. I don't know where to begin. Thank you very much for your entry. Let's analyze this then. Lots going on. Lots of little accent animations around the edge. The crosses, that's nice. Haven't seen that. As an X marks the spot. Well done. Really nice. Really unique. I like these little droplets that come off. They look hand-drawn, which if they are, cool. Well done for the effort. I'm not sure they fit with the rest of the animation because the rest of it is very single line thickness sort of thing. Even with the sort of dash lines as the pin drops down. Although they're thinner, they are one solid line, doesn't taper, whereas this sort of tapers a little bit and then you can tell it's hand-drawn. Looks nice. Looks really nice. I'm not sure it works for this particular animation. I like the doubling up you've done on the line icons here. Did you do it twice, red, or is it just once? Just once, red. Looks good. I like it. You've taken the color palette, done something unique with it. Again, sliding off the screen, though, you don't know where the edge of your border is going to be, your workspace, when this is actually used, or if this were actually to be used. Other than that, really nice. Line trims are good. I just love all the little accent work that's going along with this one. So well done. Okay then, so we have here our 2 winners. I've chosen Hein Schultz and Ramin Winroth. These 2 display really good principles of animation and really good creativity from the brief. Both of these took the brief, put their own spin on it. I really like it. Hein Schultz did well, adding the little character. That's what really won this for me. But not only that, but the smoothness of the animation. Everything feels fluid. Everything feels level. And I like the fact that the nose and the hair on the character move in relation to his head. So it actually feels like an actual object rather than just different shapes sliding around on top of each other. As far as Ramin Winroth goes, I really like the animation at the beginning where the pin slides into place and just does that little wobble. Really good, again, principles of animation there. Really good motion, really good flow, which is what icon animation is really all about. It's got to feel solid. It's got to feel bouncy. You know, it's got to feel like every movement is there for a reason. There's a few extra things on here that are maybe a little bit overkill, like for example the map sort of flinging itself off the screen, but I like the motion of it, I like the speed of it, it feels good. So for the case of this competition, I think it works really well. These two are certainly the most creative, but that doesn't mean the rest of the entries were bad. You should all be really proud of the things that you've made, purely because you actually got yourself in there and you made it and you took a chance. So thank you very much for entering, everybody. Heinz Schultz and Ramin Winroth, I'll be in touch with your Dribbble invite keys. Everybody who didn't win this time, I'll probably be holding more competitions like this in the future with different sort of stuff to be created. So hopefully you guys will enter next time and you can have another chance then. In the meantime though, Heinz Schultz, Ramin Winroth, enjoy your Dribbble invite keys, and I hope to see you guys creating more things on and off of Dribbble in the future. Thank you very much for watching, everybody, and I'll see you all next time.
Remember to subscribe for more tips, tricks, and tutorials. Thanks for watching.